I'm done.
That's what I mean. I might have mistakenly said that. That was.
Just remember the clause right here.
This is Robert Arthur Moses, a 63-year-old divorced Air Force veteran and father to one adopted child. He's calm, composed, and highly cooperative in assisting with the investigation into the mysterious murder of his ex-wife. However, there is one thing he absolutely refuses to do: take a polygraph test.
Now, you probably feel like you're getting drugged through the ringer right now, but we would like to probably set you up for a polygraph.
I don't know about taking a polygraph. I don't know anything about this.
By the time he sat for his second police interview, all that cooperation had gone out the window.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about now, but it sounds like you're accusing me of something.
Bob's refusal to take a polygraph immediately sends chills down my spine. It's like he's hiding something, and the detectives know it. You can feel the tension in that room. Bob's calm facade is just a mask for something darker. Why won't he take the test? Is it fear of being caught, or is he playing a game with the cops? This moment makes you question everything about him.
No, the cops already knew exactly why he refused to take the test. Anna Moses grew up in Almaty, Kazakhstan. But as soon as she turned 18, she moved to St. Petersburg to attend college, where she earned her bachelor's degree in economics. While living in St. Petersburg, two life-changing events shaped Anna's future forever. First, she gave birth to a baby boy and named him Igor after her father. The second was meeting Bob Moses.
How'd y'all meet?
I met her in Russia.
Okay.
I went on a trip over there, and I met her over there, and, we talked back and forth, and then I got her visa, and she came over here. Well, not here. I mean, we lived in Jacksonville, Florida at the time.
Right.
And, we met. We got married down there, and then we moved over here.
When did y'all actually move to Texas?
2004, I think.
Right.
Anna had no trouble adapting to the American way of life. Neither did Igor, who, despite being born in Russia, grew up as an average American kid. Bob adopted Igor as his son shortly after marrying Anna. However, once the family settled in Frisco, things began to shift. Anna became increasingly independent. She secured a job at the University of Texas in Dallas as the Assistant Director of Strategic Planning and Analysis, earned a master's degree in economics, and even began working on a second master's degree in data analysis. But as Anna excelled in her professional and academic life, her relationship with Bob began to deteriorate. When asked about his divorce during his first interrogation, Bob had this to say.
Did y'all ever fight whenever y'all were married?
I mean, we had disagreements. I mean, that's kind of why we're divorced. I mean, we just were kind of like opposites in some ways.
However, exactly a year after they met, things took a dramatic turn. On the night of January 14th, 2014, Anna and Michael had planned to meet at her house for their weekly date night. But when Michael arrived, Anna didn't answer the door or her phone. The next day, Michael grew increasingly concerned when Anna didn't show up to work. Worried, he contacted the Frisco Police Department and requested a welfare check at her home. Upon entering the house, it didn't take long for officers to find Anna's body. Anna was discovered lying face down in the garage, still wearing her coat and scarf. Her purse and belongings were scattered all across the floor next to her, in a pool of her own blood. An empty Taco Bell wrapper and a few envelopes that she had been carrying were also found on the floor nearby. Forensic analysis revealed that Anna had been shot 7 times. She sustained a bullet wound to her neck, 2 to her chest, and 3 to her back. Additionally, a 7th bullet grazed her skin and ended up lodged inside her coat. Scrapes on both her hands suggested that she may have fallen to the ground or tried to defend herself during the attack. The scene was gruesome.
Hearing about Anna's body in the garage, still in her coat, surrounded by her scattered belongings, it's heartbreaking. She was just living her life, thriving, independent, and someone took that away. The brutality of 7 gunshots feels so personal, so angry. It's hard not to feel rage at the injustice. Anna deserved better, and her son, Igor, lost his mom in the worst way imaginable.
Police station, but he seems extremely confused as to why he's there.
We're going to ask you some questions, okay? And if you don't feel comfortable answering some of those questions, you don't have to, okay? This is all voluntary. You don't have to do
I don't understand. What?
So that's what we're trying to explain to you. You're not under arrest, okay?
Okay.
What we're trying to do is figure out information surrounding circumstances of Anna's death. And we don't know what happened or what led up to it, and that's what we're trying to talk to as many people as we can today.
Okay.
We've talked to Igor, we've talked to Anna's boyfriend, we've talked to some of her other friends, and we've talked to a bunch of people. So, we're trying to figure out what happened, and, maybe when the last time you saw her, spoke with her.
I mean, I don't,
We have good reason to believe that Anna was murdered.
oh my God.
When asked about the day of the murder, Bob provides little to no detail about his activities. Instead, he tries to steer the conversation toward his roommates and himself, describing their jobs and daily routines. What's he trying to avoid talking about?
Let me ask you, let's start out by, where were you yesterday in the morning? What time you woke up to?
Yesterday was Tuesday.
Yes,
I was at the house.
at the house.
Yeah.
So what were you doing while you were at home?
Just, not much really. I mean, what I do is I go around. We have the ability to look up places online and get their address so we know where they live.
Okay.
And then we find a neighborhood and then we go knocking door to door. I have a permit, okay, from Frisco.
Okay.
I came here and got
Yeah.
a list permit or whatever it's called.
Yeah, to go do business.
Yeah, so we'll go do knock on people's doors
Yes.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, it's been like this for a couple of weeks now. It's been, especially the weekends. The weekends are the best time to get people out because it gets dark early.
Mm-hmm.
So, we go, try to find, I'll go and walk through the mall or Target parking lot or places like that and see people that have hail damage in their car, and then, we have a service online. We can look up where they live so we can go knock on their door. I wasn't really doing anything yesterday, watching TV and doing anything else. I mean, it's just
What did you watch on TV? What you watching on TV?
some of the football game. I was at Ohio State. So I was
Okay.
watching all about the football game, championship game that was on Monday.
Okay.
So I was just watching, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. And then, at some point, at 7:30 or 7, you went to 20?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I mean, I go to Twin Peaks, I'm there tonight, I go there, 2, 3, 4 nights a week sometimes.
Would you be like a regular there?
Yeah, they know who I am.
So you were there, at what time would you say you were at Twin Peaks yesterday?
I usually eat dinner before I go, so I probably had dinner yesterday was Tuesday yesterday. Yeah, I would say I went down there about 7.
Okay.
I don't necessarily,
What you were wearing?
was I wearing? I'm wearing probably these pants.
Okay.
I'll wear my Ohio State jacket, because I want to win.
Is it bright red, or is it got gray sleeves? What is it?
It's pretty much red.
Red?
It's got a lot of red to it. It's got a big logo on it.
Okay.
I was going to win, kind of kid with people, because nobody was giving me heck. They were saying, no, Oregon's going to beat you guys.
Right. Okay, and did you eat with anybody?
I stood far.
You said bar.
So I think I had a sandwich at the bar and a couple beers.
It takes him forever to recall basic details about the day of the murder, despite it being just the day before. Yet, when the detectives shift the topic to something that he's interested in, his responses come instantly. The detectives can see.
Bob, thanks for coming in and providing us a statement. Everything you've been doing today is voluntary, and we appreciate that.
Okay.
But look at your statement. This isn't going to be good enough, man. We need to dig a little bit deeper. We need to ask some more questions, okay? Because there's a lot of, this isn't nothing. This is nothing for me to work with.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Especially right now, my mind is like, I don't remember what I did yesterday.
And we've been respecting you, and we've been respecting, we haven't been bothering you.
Right.
While throughout her burial process or anything.
I understand.
The funeral part's over, and we got to get on. We got an investigation.
Right.
And I'm trying to get as much information as I can from you right now. You've been very good. I fully expected you to consent to the polygraph and be able to get that done, you're saying that you don't want to do that, which is going to put a cloud over you, man. That's not sitting well with me at all, because you've been helping out,
Right.
and then all of a sudden polygraph, it doesn't sit well with me one bit, and I got big shit to work with right here on this statement. I don't like it, and we need to figure out what's going on.
Unlike his first interview, where he remained calm and collected, Bob is now fully defensive. For another hour, he refuses to expand on his statements or agree to a polygraph test. His excuse is this.
I know a lot of people have agreed to do this, but it is a polygraph.
Right.
And wanted to see if you'd be willing to submit to one.
Actually, I've been advised not to take a polygraph.
Okay.
Okay. I've just been told that it's in nobody's best interest. I understand you asked for it, but I've been.
Right. Here's the deal with the polygraph. We don't, it's a tool. It don't.
There's a reason why I was told not to do it.
Okay.
And I know a guy who used to be a lawyer, he's no longer practicing law, and he asked me some questions and said, no, you shouldn't take one. And I'm just going to go by what he said.
And I understand and respect that.
Right.
And I guess our deal is we're using it as a tool. We don't put all our weight on that.
Right.
Hell, we don't even use that.
Right.
We just it's a tool for us.
Right.
Because here's the deal. When we look at your statement, it's very vague, man.
Right. No, I
and
understand.
we need, in order for, I think, the proper steps to be taken to probate stuff,
Right.
in the end, they're going to need to know shit, be able to say, hey, man, look at this guy. I mean, he's got a big ass hole in his statement.
Right.
And that's going to help us, man.
Right.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to, if we don't need to spend any more time talking to you, we don't want to do that anymore.
No, I understand.
And, I mean, that's just where we're coming from. It's just, it's a tool for us to eliminate you.
It's not admissible in court or anything like that.
I understand that. Let me just tell you exactly what the guy told me, not in great detail, okay? He asked me some questions and advised me not to take it. And he told me the reason why. I can't share that with you, obviously, but he gave me a legitimate reason why not to. It has nothing to do with what you're trying to do.
Is he a polygrapher?
No, he's a retired lawyer.
And I understand that, but I mean, did he do criminal law?
Again, I'm not going to, go in depth on it because I just have
I understand that.
As detectives push harder, Bob becomes increasingly tense, but he still won't cooperate. What is he trying so desperately to hide?
Okay.
So Anna was murdered.
Yes.
So when I get this, I mean, it's not like a baseball was stolen out of some store.
Right.
We're working a murder, and people are doing their best. Everyone else is bending over backwards to accommodate us, and now we're catching. I don't know. I don't keep track of every minute or every day.
I know.
And that's
I can't tell you where I was at 2 o'clock yesterday.
In an effort to break through, the cops try to appeal to him, describing him in a positive light. Will this strategy work?
I'd hate for somebody to be keeping you from being able to clear your name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
until then,
Right.
because of the statement you've given us, it's
Right.
it's very vague. And everybody else's is like boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And yours is like this big gaping hole.
Right.
And we need to close that thing up, man.
Right.
I mean, this is an excellent way to do that.
Bob's defensiveness in that second interview is so telling. He's dodging questions, clinging to his lawyer's advice like a lifeline. But why? If he's innocent, why not clear his name? The detectives are practically begging him to help, but he's shutting down. It's like watching someone dig their grave. You can't look away. The truth is slipping through his cracks, and it's intense.
Turn once they begin asking about Anna's car.
When's the last time you drove her car?
I couldn't say for sure. I know it hasn't been too long ago because I did some work at the house and I had to move her car. So
Do you remember why you had to move her car?
I had to move it because we had to do something, we brought something. I don't remember exactly, okay? I mean, I couldn't honestly tell you the last time I drove her car,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Is there any reason, like I said, a lot of this stuff, like the car, we've had it analyzed.
Right.
It's in the process of being analyzed for evidence.
Right.
Is there any reason why your blood would be inside of her car?
Not that I can think of, no.
Not that you can think of?
No.
Okay. We found blood in her car. And we have a good reason to believe that it's not hers. Now, we have a good reason to believe that it's not hers.
Anna's car, which had been missing from the crime scene, was discovered abandoned just hours after her body was found. Inside, detectives found 2 fresh bloodstains. The DNA in those bloodstains belonged to Anna and Bob. The question is, though, how did Bob's blood get there? The real mystery, however, is why Bob would murder his ex-wife. When detectives start asking about his finances, they uncover a crucial piece of the puzzle, one that confirms their hypothesis.
How are you making money?
That way. Plus I have Social Security,
Okay, how much of a Social Security check are you getting?
like about $1,500 a month.
$1,600 a month. And I guess, okay, how much does it cost? How much does your rent cost?
It's $600.
$600 a month. Okay, and how much is your car payment?
Like $269.
$269. Did you finance for 5 or 6 years?
I can tell you right now.
What dealership do you get that through?
I got it through a wholesaler.
Wholesaling? Okay. And how much does it cost to fund, I guess, Iger's insurance?
What insurance?
Or whatever insurance that y'all
What
pay
you
for?
pay to Anna.
Yeah.
For Iger.
What do you pay for?
Oh, Anna has health insurance with Eager on it, and I pay for part of that. I give her a check for part of that.
Do you know how much that is?
How much is it? No, that's
What part you give her?
it's part of what I give her.
Okay.
I don't know how much that part. I don't know the exact amount. No.
If you could guesstimate, what would it be? 500, 300, 100?
His monthly insurance?
What, the portion that you pay to Anna?
I think his part is about $300 or something like that.
Are you on Anna's insurance too?
No.
And then, I guess, you, 600, that includes all utilities, all?
Utilities, everything, yeah.
Okay, okay. And how much would you say you make from the company? How much would you say they've paid you or a month?
I don't know, it's a 1099, you just get a,
Contract.
Contract.
Have you gotten it yet this year?
No, I haven't gotten it yet.
Would you say that you made, how much would you guesstimate that you made this year from that company?
This year, 2015?
No, 2014.
Oh, 2014? I have no idea, but I had other jobs in 2014.
Is it commission based or is it,
Yeah,
do you get a salary
Yeah,
or?
it's a 1099.
Okay.
1099, you just do performance service, they pay you a commission. They
So-
take taxes on it.
So if you go and you get someone to sign up to get their car, let's say it's a 4-door passenger car.
Right.
They go and get that, sign, let's say it's not some high-end.
It doesn't matter, it goes on the
Toyota.
value of the hail damage. You get a percentage of what
What is that percent? So if it's $1,000,
let's say, no, most hail damage is like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Okay, so they just have a formula where, okay, let's say the insurance company pays $4,000. They subtract out certain costs and they give you a percentage of the net gross.
you know what that percentage is?
Yeah, 20%.
20%?
So it just depends on the car. I mean, you could, a car that has $5,000 worth of damage, you could make $800, $900 on it. Okay, it just depends. But I've only been doing that for a while. I had a job before that.
Where was that at?
It was a call center down in Dallas.
Okay.
That was back in like July or June, something like that.
How much would you guess that you made last year? Just do a roundabout guess. I'm not going to hold you to a number.
I have no idea. Until I get my statements from them, I have no idea.
Like 40,000 a year, 20,000?
Honestly, I don't know until I get them.
Bob was making little to no money on his job. Plus, a quick search proved that he had multiple credit cards, all maxed out. While all that happened, Anna had several thousands of dollars in her account, and her life insurance policy was worth $750,000. The statements from Anna's friends and colleagues didn't help Bob either, as they all affirmed that he became really interested in Anna's accounts, passport, jewelry, passwords, and other documents right after her death. As a matter of fact, at the beginning of this second interview, it was Bob himself who asked first about Anna's will.
The blood in Anna's car, Bob's blood, changes everything. How do you explain that? His story about moving her car doesn't add up, and then there's the money. Anna had thousands in her account, a $750,000 life insurance policy, and Bob was drowning in debt. It's sickening to think greed could drive someone to murder their ex-wife, the mother of their son. What kind of person does that?
Gotcha.
The cops know that he's lying. First, they ask about a sale he made. Watch as his reaction escalates more and more.
Well, I can tell you what I know. And I know on Wednesday you were selling some silver coins at the gold exchange. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
I told
I've been doing my job. I've been following up.
All right.
And you give me this. You said you're at home all day. So now, okay, I was at the gold exchange selling some coins. What was that for?
I was selling off some of my coins.
What were we selling them off for? Did you need the money or?
What is this relevant to?
It's relevant to a homicide investigation. I don't know what part of that you don't understand. I don't know what, that's the thing with me, this whole deal is everybody else that we've talked to, cooperative.
I'm being cooperative.
Well, I know that, but they don't
Because
follow.
now you're trying to make it out like I didn't know what I was talking about there. Sure you are. Because I didn't happen to remember I went on Wednesday to sell those coins, okay? That like I said, my mind's in a fog. I don't remember everything I did. And now you're going to make it out like I didn't tell you something that I did. And I didn't remember I did that. These people do things and don't remember them all the time, okay?
Sure.
And now you're making it out like that statement's not correct.
Well, the thing is we're asking you significant things that you've done that day. Making $1,300 or $1,400, that's significant, bro. That's something.
$1,300?
Yeah, you made $1,700 selling those coins back.
No, I did not. You're badly mistaken.
So,
It's like $300. It's a place right down there on 121 in Preston. There's no way I made that kind of money.
so is this receipt not accurate?
$1,300? No, I didn't get $1,300.
That's what it
So
says.
that's about as much as you just doubled up your monthly income off that.
1/5/15.
So
1/15.
the Thursday,
No, this says the 15th, which is Thursday.
and on Wednesday you were calling them. Do you remember calling a bunch of places asking about where you can go get gold and silver?
Yeah, I probably checked out some prices on silver. But I didn't get $1,300. There's no way I got $1,300.
Well, that's what it says on the receipt.
Well, I don't care what it says in the receipt. I'll go talk to them right now.
Okay.
They paid me in cash, and they didn't give me $1,300. I don't know why they're saying this.
Well, that's what they're claiming.
How much did you get?
About $340 or so. Look, you can take the value of the coins that they have listed here, and you'll see that that's not $1,300.
Was it that bag of coins that you had in your closet that,
What I did was I thinned out the old ones that
Right.
are really only worth the silver value.
gotcha.
You see there's other ones still in there. I kept the ones that have good value
okay.
in them,
I got
okay?
you.
I was just thinning out the ones that were old, and you're not going to get anything but silver for me, and they have no value as far as the coin goes.
And this is a detailed explanation. And that's what we'd expect from Robert Moses.
Right,
Because we've confronted you with this,
Right.
and you're explaining it.
right. Because they have the
Now-
information right here in front of
No,
me.
absolutely. But I think, that, whenever we're asking you stuff about, a significant day, something that will be forever etched in your mind, we would expect there to be a better kind of a timeline of
But I didn't remember what day this was. You told me it was on the 14th, and it's actually on the 15th. I didn't
no, you were
remember what
calling,
day
you
it
were
was.
calling on the 14th.
Okay, well, whatever, okay? I didn't remember that. The reason I'm specific about this is the amount is wrong, okay? That's the specificity I'm saying, okay? The amount is 100% wrong, okay? And it's because you look at these coins on here.
Well, that's all we got to base off of on that receipt is what they wrote and your word. Like I've told you before, we go with your word.
Right,
The first time we talked to you, we told you what happened.
right.
We explained our position and how we've been charged with investigating this thing.
Right.
And that's what we're doing, man.
Right. No, I
I mean,
understand.
ultimately that, we're here as an advocate for the family and for Anna.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do. And, we hope you understand that.
I do.
And, like I said, there's just a lot more details that we would expect from somebody, and he's been doing this for a while, I've been doing this for a while, And whenever we see something like that, it throws up a huge red flag. And that's why we're in here visiting more about it, because we can't settle for that. We need more.
I don't have more.
At that point, Bob's I don't knows could not take him further along his lies, so he walks away from the situation.
I don't know what you're talking about now, but it sounds like you're accusing me of something.
I'm just trying to do my job, man. I'm trying to talk to people and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I don't have anything more to say. You're going to start accusing me of something.
We haven't accused you.
You just did.
No, I didn't.
Well, you know what? It sounds like it to me, okay? And, you know,
We're fact finders, okay?
good. I hope we're finding the facts.
We're finding facts right now.
Okay.
And
But don't start saying things about that to me. That fact is not correct.
Okay.
So,
That's not fabricated. We didn't make that up.
well, somebody did.
No.
That's not correct.
Here's the deal, though, Bob.
So I don't understand.
We didn't make that up, Bob.
We mean you didn't make it up.
We didn't make it up.
Somebody made the amount wrong.
Somebody put your name.
I'm not saying my name isn't correct on there. I'm not saying I didn't sign that. I'm saying that amount isn't correct.
Why would you sign that?
I don't know if the amount was in there when I signed it, okay? I didn't.
You're smart enough not to do that.
I don't know what the amount was in
You're
there.
making it hard for me to find the facts, Bob, because you can't tell me.
I'm not trying to make it hard for you to find the facts.
We're talking about somebody you cared about for a long
Yes,
damn time,
absolutely.
Bob.
You know what? I'm
And that's
done
what we're doing.
talking to you guys. I'm done talking to you, okay? Because I don't know everything I did that day. You're trying to twist all this around now, okay?
We're not twisting anything around. We're here to tell you the facts.
Help us understand.
Hang on, I'm going to tell you one thing. Okay. You told me I did that on Wednesday the 14th, and I looked on there at the 15th. So you are twisting. I'm done.
That's what I mean. I'm not a mistake. You said that. That was
Just remember that the cloud's right here.
In the end, what sentenced Bob was his lack of creativity to come up with a lie. There were several things, however, that could have saved Bob from being sentenced. For starters, the murder weapon was never found, and inside Anna's car there was a pack of cigarettes and an empty Red Bull can which didn't match his DNA. But still, his very empty statement on the day of the events weighed more. Plus, his refusal to take a polygraph test and the economical benefits that he would have received from the murder made the case all too obvious to the judges. So, in November of 2016, Bob Moses was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of his ex-wife. Now, if you think this case was horrific, you need to check out my video on the evil veteran who dissolved his wife in acid.
Life in prison for Bob feels like justice, but it doesn't bring Anna back. Her son, Igor, has to live with this pain forever. The legal system worked, but the human cost is staggering. Bob's lies, his greed, it's a betrayal of everything Anna built. This case reminds us how fragile life is and how devastating it is when someone so close has broken trust.